Well, what is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde live with you on a Wednesday night. We have a really fun show lined up. Really excited to get into it. So, folks, please hit the thumbs up on this video before we dive into things. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, of course, for more content. And our offer for new subscribers is $1 for 2 months over at blueandgold.com. So all the spring ball coverage, all the recruiting intel, talking with thousands of other Notre Dame fans on the Loose Emoji message board. You get it for just $1 for your first 2 months. So please check that out. It's over at blueandgold.com. Thank you for the folks who are watching live, for the folks who are watching back, and those who are listening via podcast. Again, Tim, this show that we're doing tonight, we've never done anything like this. Maybe that's a little much, but I think this is going to be a very entertaining show. It's going to be informative, but I think entertaining is really what it's going to be. So, folks, grab a beverage, grab a snack, and we're going to dive into this. I'm pretty pumped, Tim. But first, when I send you our outline, Tim, I'm like, we're gonna shoot. We're just gonna chit chat for a little bit.
Shoot
and
the
I always
breeze.
throw something at Tim. I love throwing stuff at Tim that he's not prepared for. This tweeted out today. How about this, Tim? Bruce Feldman's top head coaches. Did you see this?
I actually have the article in my email. I just haven't read it yet.
1 through 10.
First time seeing this.
1 through 10 in order.
Bruce Feldman's. Okay.
Kirby, Dabo, Lance Leipold.
He's the dude
Kansas.
Yeah,
Buffalo. I mean, I guess if you turn Kansas around,
Mike,
number 3.
Buffalo and Kansas. So, but anyway, go ahead.
Kalen DeBoer 4, Ryan Day 5, Brian Kelly 6, James Franklin 7, and then rounding out the list, Kyle Whittingham, Lincoln Riley, Mike Norvell. What are your thoughts on this? And do you think that Freeman should be in this, or do you think it's fine that he's not in there?
Oh, I don't think Freeman should be in a top 10 coaches list. That's my humble opinion. He's only been there 2 years. I think Freeman. Great question about Freeman. Freeman's got to be lumped in. Feldman's always had this policy of not moving coaches in that are new. So I wonder if he's still doing that. Meaning, because you got to jump Freeman. If you're thinking Marcus Freeman, think of his core of coaches. Dan Lanning, obviously he's had 2 great years. Then you got Venables, Freeman, Mike Elko. Heck, they're all D coordinators. So you got a bunch of 4 ex-D coordinators are head coaches now, with Elko being the one that's got his second job, meaning moved up from Duke to a bigger job at A&M. But that's going to be an interesting to watch who takes the reins out of those 4, so to speak. I don't know. God, I can't think of any other coaches that are brand new, been only 2 years at a job. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
There's someone out there, post in the chat, please. But I would put Freeman in that group. Where's Freeman rank out of those 4 now? So you'd probably think Lanning, Elko 1, 2, Freeman 3, and Venables 4. So going from there. But on this list, yeah, I mean, there's no Saban, there's no Harbaugh, so those 2 are obviously instant top 3 gone. Kirby moves up. People could say what they want about Dabo, man. 13, 14 consecutive years ranked. Every year he's had 10-plus wins. Outside of this year, he won 9, obviously. And I know I'm a Dabo homer, but, man, as I've mentioned, this Clemson year was like Notre Dame's 2011 when they lost South Florida, where Mike Singer was partying at school. Not partying for the game, Mike, the game. The USC where Dane Chris fumbles on the 1-yard line, bringing back memories for everybody. So Notre Dame found ways to lose when they probably could have been 11-1 in 2011, just like this Clemson team. So Dabo, put the list back up. I would, my top 5, I mean, just 5 coaches top of my head. Kirby, I would go Kirby, Dabo, DeBoer, the guy won at NAIA, excuse me, can't even say that, Hyde. Obviously Fresno State. He took over. I mean, Washington was not a good football program. They had a massive scandal, remember, with their coach who would attacking players on the sideline. I think they were 4-8 the the year before he got there, and then obviously transfer portals able to load up and get some freaks. I put DeBoer, Sweeney, Hart. I'm Brian Kelly just because he's won a D2 title, won a conference title. Think of this: won a conference title at the MAC, undefeated regular season conference title at Cincy, goes 3 times undefeated at Notre Dame. I think Brian Kelly's a top 5 coach.
The Leopold, dude, the Leopold thing.
The dude could coach, man.
Okay, he can coach, but that doesn't mean he's number 3. All right, in 6 seasons.
Buffalo and Kansas.
6 seasons at Buffalo, he had 1 10-win season, and he has not even done that at Kansas. So I would love the reasoning for having.
It's just respect. Off the top of my head, I mean, Kansas was ranked this year. I don't think Kansas was last ranked since Mangino took him to the Orange Bowl. I would think. I mean, you win any game at Buffalo. Who the hell's recruiting Buffalo, right? I mean, who are you loading up with? But you could say that's high. Someone says Brian Kelly's overrated. The dude wins football games. I mean, seriously, he's been at LSU twice, back-to-back 10-win seasons. You say what you want. The guy knows how to win football games, but whatever. Okay. I would say that Ryan Day, he's got a heck of an overall record, so he's got to be in that 5-6. I'm not a James Franklin guy. He just annoys me. I've been around him a few times. I think I've said this before. He just annoys me. Hopefully he's not watching, but I highly doubt he is, as we know. But he's just annoying. So it's an interesting list. But Lincoln Riley was on there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Lincoln Riley, obviously.
Tim, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I don't want to spend too much more time on this list.
No, it's a great list, but go ahead.
Yeah. Someone said Kiffin and Lanning not ranked in the top 10. Yeah, I mean, I think those guys.
Just 10 seconds on Lane Kiffin. Go look at Lane Kiffin's head coaching record. It's a freaking roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. He goes 10 wins to 5, 10 wins to 6, 10 wins to 5. It's a roller coaster. So just people go look at Lane Kiffin before you get a little too hyped up on him as a head coach now. That's just my opinion.
Okay. So we have 2 big things for today's show. We're going to start by looking at the 1/3 rule, and I'm going to explain that in a second. And then on Tuesday, I tweeted out and posted on our message board a link for people to call in and send us voice memos. So it's not like a live call in, but it is something where people recorded a voice memo, sent it to a link, and we did this a couple months ago, Tim, and I thought it was pretty fun. So we got some good stuff, some interesting stuff, some things that Tim and I listened through them really quick, like 10 minutes ago, but we're not really prepared. So it's going to be a little off the cuff, but it's going to be fun. Well, we're going to start with the 1/3 rule. So this is something that Lou Emoji coined, at Blue and Gold. The late great Lou Emoji, one of the greatest sports writers who's ever lived. He coined this, and this is and I'm reading an article that he wrote back in August of 2020. This is the open. Okay. So he wrote, through the decades at blueandgold.com, we have often spoke about the 1/3 rule in football recruiting. So here's the thirds. In summary, in the majority of recruiting classes, about 1/3 of the group will feature multiple year starters / future NFL players. 1/3 will be either special teams mainstays, reliable reserves, or even start for a year. And 1/3, unfortunately, either will have significant injury setbacks, academics issues, transfer, just get lost in the shuffle of the numbers game. So I went back and I made a 1/3 rule list based on that for 2020, 2021, and 2022. Tim, was very difficult because it's still happening. So it's a little bit of a projection as well. And it even is a little bit with 2021. 2020, that story is mostly written for that class. And I picked back to 2020 because that was the first recruiting class I covered at Blue and Gold. So yeah, John says this sounds fun. I completely agree. So I wish there was a way for me to have each name appear one by one. It took me long enough to go through this list. I mean, I started at like 6:45, and it took me about 7. It was about an hour just going through this. Now, for you visual folks that are watching on, that are seeing this on YouTube, don't get upset with me that it's not the prettiest looking graphic. I mean, I'm just a recruiting writer and a YouTube guy. I'm not a graphics guy. So, Tim, my thought is I'm going to pop mine on screen.
Mhm.
And then I know you have your list written down in front of you. I think you etched it in some stone or something. Okay.
A little pencil there.
So you can tell me what you think. And when we were texting about this, I think we kind of, in a lot of this is up to interpretation. This is not an objective factual thing, because some of the guys you're like, I could hear arguments for both. Like Tim, you told me that if someone transferred out, no matter what impact they had, then you're kind of putting them in, it didn't work out or something
We'll
like
talk
that.
about that.
All right, we'll talk about that. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So the 1/3 rule. So this is for, let me remove this. This is for the 2020 class. And so you had 20, what is this math? 17 guys? Is that it? 17 high school players that they took. And I'm not including transfers in this because that's a whole different discussion. And this lined up pretty perfectly into 1/3. So here's the multiple year starter / NFL caliber. Michael Mayer. I put Jordan Botello in there. I think he's NFL caliber and he's multiple year starter. Tosh Baker was kind of iffy. I think Tosh Baker at his size and length has NFL caliber, and he started a little bit in the past, and I think he starts this year. So I feel okay putting Tosh Baker there. Riley Mills, multiple year starter, NFL caliber player, and then obviously Xavier Watts. So that's 5 in that grouping. Special team / on the fringe figures. I'm pulling these. That's right from Lou's article. Drew Pine. I don't really. I mean, he started some, but he's right. He's definitely not NFL caliber. I mean, I guess he started over a 2-year period, right? Maybe, yeah. I don't know if he started in 2021, but whatever. I think he's kind of right there in the middle. He's on the fringe. Kevin Bauman, special teams on the fringe figure, I think. I like Ramon Henderson in that group. Clarence Lewis. Chris Tyree is an interesting one, Tim. I don't think he really was a starter, but I could also see him being an NFL caliber player. But then he also transferred out. I don't know. I think Tyree, that was a tough one for me. At first, I had him in the group on the left, but I put him here on the fringe figures. And then Michael Carmody, I think is right there in that middle group too.
Carmody, okay.
Setbacks / just didn't work out. Jordan Johnson. Look, for Carmody on the O-line thing, it's offensive. You got to take the offensive line into consideration. Like, Carmody's a fine player. It's just really hard to play on the offensive line at Notre Dame. So I put him right there on the fridge figure. So didn't work out. Jordan Johnson, Aiden Kana-Einon never really saw the field. Caleb Offord transferred out really quickly. Jay Brunel transferred out. Alexander Ahrensberger and Alex Peich, the long snapper. So those are all guys. Setbacks just didn't work out. So 1/3 rule, pretty. I mean, there it is. Tim, much disagreements. What do you think about this? And I'm looking at YouTube chat now to see what you guys think.
Yeah, no, I mean 4 right off. 4 no-brainers. Obviously, Michael Mayer got drafted. Botello's going to be a second-year starter. Before that, he was a special teams demon since day one at Notre Dame. Riley Mills, NFL football player. Xavier Watts, unanimous All-American, going to get drafted. So you got NFL dudes right there. Baker for me is still in the middle until the spring. So I mean, I'm anticipating him to start. Obviously, I mean, you reported on this, Mike. They went looking for an offensive tackle in the portal. What does that mean? Are they going to do that in the spring? Does someone pop up? You know what I mean?
I'm the different. I look at that the total opposite. They considered it just like they consider taking a player but they didn't take someone because I believe they have trust in Baker. So I'm looking at that on the other side of the coin, Tim.
Yeah, I mean Baker. Fingers crossed. I really hope he wins. Solidifies the job. So and he ends up being a NFL multi-year starter because he has 2 years to start still. So he definitely could go in that thing. Tyree's a no-brainer in the middle. Was never really a starter. Great special teams player, role player, third string running back, really behind Estime and Diggs. He got his carries, that types of things. So Tyree's perfect in the middle. He's a grad transfer. So
Yeah,
yes,
that's true. That's
but
true.
he's a grad, so
I
respect
still
to him.
think I still
That is
think he has
true.
NFL caliber, but I think he should be in the middle.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Ramon Henderson, I think, is a middle guy, multi-year player.
Yeah.
Played in 21, 22, 23. Special teams, nickel, dime, always on the field. That's a no-brainer. Clarence Lewis started in 2020. He's been a nickel and dime guy ever since. Carmody, to me, is definitely didn't work out. Played a couple in 21. We never heard
Yeah.
from him.
Yeah. Like I
So,
said, it didn't work out, but also, dude, it's the Notre Dame offensive line. It make
but
like
he was the starter. Was he the? I think he stands first year, right? Or maybe it was last year where he was instantly the right guard, and then they gave him a shot. Remember, I think it was last year, but he got beat out by Billy Schrouf, then later
they
Rocco.
just recruited over him, man.
Oh,
But yeah,
exactly. So,
I
to
could
me,
hear argument for both. I mean, it makes sense.
yeah, and to me, he didn't work out. But he grad transferred, so I would put him. It didn't work out. Drew Pine is where is the Hyde rule. To me, if you're a grad transfer who played, you did your service at Notre Dame, meaning you played 4 years, you graduated, high five to you. That's Tyree, that's Carmody, guys of that nature. No problem with that. Ramon Henderson's a grad transfer. Aiden Kay, grad transfer. No problem with that. Ramon Henderson as well. Pine, yes, he started. Mike started because of injury, but left when he knew they were gonna. So to me, I put him in the other column.
Dude,
Same with Kevin Bauman. Kevin
yeah.
Bauman's an injury riddle. I have him in the other one. And your didn't work out. I'm agreement with you, but I put Drew Pine in the didn't work out.
So what did your numbers end up being? Was it close to 1/3?
So close to 1/3 when you move Baker in, because Baker will be there. More didn't work out is what I have.
Yeah, you had more didn't work out. Yeah, yeah, like it's kind of up to
you're right on the teetering right
there. Yeah,
if
Bauman.
If you do what Mike Singer just did right here, where you space it out, true. Drew Pine started 10 games. Give him a high five.
I think he did his part.
He was the role player in 21 when Cone, obviously, in Cincinnati and Wisconsin game. Wisconsin. Right?
Yeah, I think that's perfectly on the fringe. I think he exactly. And then Bauman, he's still here. Like he's still, and he's been a special teams figure. So yeah, it's some of these splitting hairs.
Yeah, it's true. Bauman, I don't think worked out. I just don't think he's played enough. Pine's the one you could flip a coin, have an argument, because he did start. He did go 8-2 as a starter. We'll roll from there. But it's a small class. That's the other thing. Obviously the transfer portals made these classes bigger because you got to replenish so much. But yeah, it's when you got a 17-man class, isn't it fascinating? Just 4 or 5 years ago, Notre Dame's recruiting 17, 18-man classes because they don't have scholarships. Now it's like, we're going to get 25, fill it up.
Yeah. I've talked about this before, Tim. I think just on my show with Goolsby Monday. Did you watch that?
I watched the first half. I got to finish it.
Yeah, we talk. I always feel like when I do the Goolsby show, I talk about Tim, and when I do the Tim show, I talk about Goolsby. Yeah. And then you guys talk off air.
I got to your odd Jordan Faison take, and I was like, I'll listen to the rest of this later. So
I don't know if it was an odd take. I think it's just an unpopular.
I think the dude's going to play a ton of football. I don't know how.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
Speed, talent, hands, playmaking ability on the bench. You don't.
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth. I just think he's being hyped up way too much right now. That's my take. I'm just seeing the super high expectations. You guys got.
But what's high expectation? 40 catches, 650 yards, couple touchdowns. I mean, Notre Dame hasn't had that in the last few years. I'm the opposite of you. I think the expectations are legitimate because he might be the only true playmaker on the wide receiver group. So it'll be interesting.
I disagree with that.
I did like that. I did like how you were the opposite on that.
Dude, I mean, call it like I see it.
No, I feel you. Let's go to 20.
Don't get me wrong. I think he's a really good player. I really do, but I don't know. We'll see.
Then they're wasting him. then
Go to
they're wasting it.
going to 2021.
I like 21.
This
21.
one is interesting. So you go from 17-man class, which,
The
by the
best.
way, I started by saying this, and then when I was asking you about the Goolsby show, like I've said this before, the 2020 class for Notre Dame, that was my first class cover Notre Dame. I remember that fall, Tim, being bored out of my mind. There was nothing. I remember writing articles on kids. I'm like, Notre Dame's never going to take this kid. They're never even going to offer him. But there's nothing else going on. It was Ramon Henderson, and that was it for like the entire fall of 2019. They had all their guys committed, and it was just Ramon Henderson. And they took 17. So then the next year, it's the COVID year, they take 27 guys. So yeah, this is a year with a lot of busts. So
I mean, half the kids.
look at that far right. Look at all of those names. So here's the 1/3 rule for the 2021 class.
Who we got here?
Multiple year starter / NFL caliber Blake Fisher. Is Rocco I think Spindler?
I have Rocco in the middle.
Okay. He's on the fringe, but also like his story's not done yet at Notre Dame. He started some this past year. He can start this year. He still has NFL caliber. So he's on the fringe between those two. Yes. I put him on the left. I understand if you put him in the middle group. Yeah. Estime, obviously. Jaden Thomas.
Yep.
I think that's an obvious one. Yep. Joe Alt, I thought about putting. I'm kidding. Mitchell Evans and Pat Coogan, by definition, very well might be a multiple year starter in NFL caliber. So I could listen to an argument for on the fridge, but I think even though Pat Coogan's not the sexiest name out there for Notre Dame offensive linemen, I mean, by the definition, Tim, of multiple year starter in NFL caliber, like I think you have to put Pat Coogan in there.
Yeah, I have Coogan because I just think he's going to be the starter. I think Spindler coming back from injury might be battling to be the third guy. You know, I'd be stunned if Billy Schroff, just with his athletic ability. Heck, Billy's going to be a junior now, so he's been around for a couple of years. So it's his time just to be the guy. Same with Ashton Craig, obviously at center, and for those two guys, I mean, they're upperclassmen now. So I wouldn't be surprised if those are the guards, meaning Rocco goes in the middle. Even though he was the very first figure today in their hype, workout video was Rocco was the first video. So, which was awesome to see. He's out there working and going from there.
So special teams.
Those were my six. Those were my six outside of Rocco. I agreement with all the others.
So I'm guessing you put Styles and didn't work out. I totally get that.
I did.
He was just he was pretty darn good his freshman year. For me, it was like he was trending towards this first group, but ended up in the last group. So I kind of threw him in the middle. Yeah. He was a good player. I mean, but he left. So I didn't really know what to do with him. So I just kind of threw him in the middle. Deion Colsey.
I have Colsey.
Right on the fringe. I think Gabe Rubio's right there on the fringe. Chance Tucker, still at Notre Dame. I think he's on the fringe. Logan Diggs, I kind of have in the middle group for the same reason as Styles. He was really productive while he was at Notre Dame, but he left. Kahanu Kia is in the middle because what the hell do we even know at this point? I mean, he's going into his sophomore year as like a 28-year-old. I'm joking. He's probably 20 or 21. And then Jason Anye right there on the fringe as well.
Yeah, man, I'm tough. So it's like, hey, I literally put the guy that didn't work out. It's an army for me. I have all of those guys. I put Styles there because Styles.
I get it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, he played. I mean, what was he second in? He was the second leading receiver. As crazy as that sounds, in 22. The second leading receiver behind Mayer was.
Yeah, but of the receiver position, it was him.
Exactly. So when he left, he transferred and had to move to DB. Remember, even in last spring. So he didn't finish it out. And then Rubio, I have highlighted giant question marks of Notre Dame starts spring. Is he on campus? Is he back? So he could, and he's always been nothing but a backup. So if he transfers, but he's a grad degree guy, so you could keep him in the middle. If he gets, he's going to be a senior. So I'm sure he has his degree,
Yeah, I'm already thinking Styles probably should have been the right, but I don't know. He was good when he was here.
I did put. I'm not gonna lie, man. I did put obviously Barong. Yeah, all those guys. I did Prince Colley as well. He was a 2-year backup. He played special teams. Yeah, he had
He was a
the great
5-star
play
by on
against
3, man.
Princeton.
Just that did not work out.
Didn't work out. You know, he was
I
banged
don't
up,
know.
injured, had to redshirt this year at Vanderbilt. But
So here's the didn't work out group for folks listening to the podcast. Buckner, I mean, didn't work out.
I did. I put him there just to be honest with the thing. Sure, he played as a freshman, started 3 games, but it didn't work out because he transferred, and that was
Prince Colley left pretty early. Kane Barong, injuries.
Yeah.
Philip Riley just never saw the field. Caleb Johnson left pretty early in his career. Joe Johnson left before he got here. It feels like Kari G, same thing. Will Schweitzer was an injury, I believe. Justin Walters just never panned out. Ryan Barnes transferred to UMass. Devin Alpue was here for the spring and then left.
Yeah.
Josh Bryan, I honestly don't even remember. And then Ron Paulus, ended his career. I can't remember when, but he obviously never saw the field. So
let me jump in real quick. We kind of feel like Mike Mickens is a pretty good recruiter. How's this first class by him?
That 2021 class?
He coached in 2020, but I mean, seriously, this I know it's hard. It's so hard.
It's the COVID year.
COVID, and these guys, so many like Kari Gee never visited. They just took him. So many. I mean, it's amazing when you look at this DBs. I mean, they have 6 of them, and they just all faded away.
JoJo Johnson, I remember. Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. But Styles. I mean, there's a couple of those tweeners, but overall, at least in the first column, bam, man, those are just your third rules kind of just sticking right there. This year could be a little less, obviously, because it's such a large class and only 7 of them panned out. But it's still up for Jason Anye, Kia.
So some of those guys can move. So the 2020 list again, that's pretty set in stone. I mean, Baker, you can make an argument, but I think 2021 has more movement than more potential movement.
But how about I thought Logan Diggs and it didn't work out. He was obviously played for 2 years, got carries 2 years, was a big part, was Kyron's backup, him and Audrey.
It just depends on how you define didn't work out, really.
To me, if you bail, you only did 2 years and you left.
Right. Right. In the like the big picture of his Notre Dame career, it didn't. But when he was here, I think, it was worth the scholarship,
Sure.
even just for this. Like, think to that Virginia Tech game when he's a true freshman and like he was the bell cow. That game, if I'm remembering that correctly, like I don't know.
You're thinking of the UVA game.
Was it UVA? Okay. So.
But no, but heck, he transferred from LSU. He's on his 3rd program. How crazy is that?
Who you talking about?
Logan Diggs.
That's right.
Because I was going through this, and on 3 has where all the guys are at now. I'm like, holy crap, I forgot he transferred.
What? So I'm just thinking now, if I put Pine in the middle group and Buckner and that didn't work out, I don't know. I mean, Buckner just didn't play very much. How many games did Tyler Buckner play at Notre Dame?
13. He played, I want to say he played 10 as a freshman. I mean, he got in. He got in.
Didn't start many.
No. He didn't start at all, but he played. He had a huge role in that 2021 season. He was a major part of that offense. So that's the thing. He's injury, didn't work out, left, obviously because of the Hartman thing.
Yeah.
Pine. Pine just basically played because of an injury. So how do you grade that? That could be something for the history books to look at down the road.
Yeah. I don't know. I still am sticking to that. Buckner started 3 games in 2022 and then, was that spot guy in 2021. God, that was such a weird season to him.
Yeah. It was. But Buckner did some good things that year.
He did.
A bowl game MVP because Pine leaves, so he's the guy for the bowl. It's transfer quarterback. Notre Dame the last few years. So Pine and Buckner are kind of in those no man's land. We may have to do a separate category for those guys.
Yeah. Pre-Elite 11 Buckner, man. Yeah. Lux must be listening to old Mike Singer for a while. Because, yeah, for whatever reason, that Elite 11 his senior year, going to senior, like, what the heck? It just looked totally different than what he saw in that junior film, which was so good. So is that good on 2021? Wrap it up there, Tim?
Oh, piece of cake.
Okay, so 2022 is really difficult to do because it's a lot of projecting. Because these guys are going into their junior year, right? Third year.
Okay.
So, I mean, 2021, some of these guys are like, it's kind of tough to say.
There's so many transfers. It's actually
yeah. Like, yeah. So, yeah, for some of them, but like Anya, Kia, Rubio, Coles, like, dude, some of these, like, it
I
could
would
go.
keep Jason Anya in the middle just because played a bunch last year. He's going to play. I mean, heck, he still has another year as well. So he's got a 5th year. So he could be at Notre Dame for 2 more years.
Yeah.
That's one thing to look at. So yeah, he's definitely a middle guy. Keep him there.
So but I'm saying he could move. Like, this is not 2021's not set. So 2022 is very difficult to kind of. Okay, so here we go. Again, this is more projecting because I have Emil Wagner in the multiple year starter NFL caliber thing because I think he can be a multiple year starter at Notre Dame and it has NFL caliber. I put Billy Schrouth there. I think it's the same reason. Now, between Tim, we would say Schrouth, Coogan, and Spindler. That's the 3 battling for the 2 guard spots. I have all of these guys on the left, left group, and I feel fine with that.
Yeah.
I got Eli Raridon there. I think that's a pretty obvious projection. Jaden Mickey, I don't know what exactly the NFL scouts will think about him, but I think he's a multiple year starter at Notre Dame.
So he's going to start over Christian Gray this year? I have him in the middle.
I think that's fine, but
yeah,
I don't know. He's played a lot of football for Notre Dame already, so I feel comfortable putting on the left. I think JD Price, especially Tim, from what you're like, you think he should be RB1 this year.
Yes.
So I could hear an argument for on the fringe, or it's just too early to tell. But I'm a big JD Price fan. Ben Morrison is obvious, and then Ashton Craig started at the end of last year. And then he's probably going to start for knock on wood, he stays healthy, but 2.
And you're missing
at
one.
least 2 more years. Who?
McPherson, the punter.
Okay. All right. So
I put
down at the bottom, I put I don't know Bryce McPherson because I don't really know how to judge.
But he's the punter. He's the starter. He's the starting punter.
And,
so I put him in there.
All right. And this was perfect. 1/3. You see the 777 there?
Yeah, exactly.
So I wanted to keep it perfect. So McPherson family, if you are watching, I'm sorry. Your son's definitely a multiple year starter. I don't really know about NFL caliber for punters, but I put you in the I don't know really just to keep this perfectly 1/3 across
the middle. This is where now real quick. I have, like I said, I have Mickey in the middle. Sure, he's played a lot, but he's a special teams on the fringe player.
That's fine.
I would bet $2 that Christian Gray is going to be the starting corner. So that's my little spring ball prediction.
Yeah, but yeah.
I don't think
how many corners, but Notre Dame might play a third corner a bunch.
That's why you have special teams on the fringe. Means to me, my middle column is backups, role players, special teams guys, main backups. But
but if you're playing a nickel 90% of the time, you're a starter. If you're the nickel corner, right?
But he's not the nickel corner. He's a true corner.
I wish he would. I wish he could. maybe he slides inside. Who knows? I've been hoping for it.
He had a rough freshman year, so they've kind of kept him on the outside. But I agree. I mean, that's what we always expected him to be, the true nickel. But
hasn't worked out.
To me, he's the middle one with a big circle, as in he could go to the left.
Okay.
Wagner, man, he's a middle to me, unless he just wins the job because.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can make an argument that all or most of those guys are on the fringe, but it's a projection. I'm projecting it.
But I mean, the same thing with guard. You got your 3 tackles: Wagner, Baker, Charles Jagasaw. 2 of those 3 are going to be starters.
Yeah,
and one's going to be the odd man out. So
yeah,
and we'll go from there. But I like your Go ahead, read off the middle.
All right, so I have Snead in the middle, and I think for the same reason you put Wagner, or I put Wagner on the left, I think you could put Snead on the left. But I just not as confident, right, as in Jalen Snead's future as I am Wagner's, which I think speaks more to Wagner than Snead. So I have Snead in the middle. I think he's on the fridge. Like, are you talking about Snead? Are you a gadget guy? Or are you a every down, can do a lot of different things player? So that's my question there. Tyson Ford, Josh Burnham, Junior Tuihalamaka, all talented players, all could move to that left side very quickly. But for now, have them in the middle. Jabran Payne right there in the middle. Special teams, solid third down back. It's going to score touchdowns on the goal line in the middle. Donovan Heinisch, solid guy. Maybe start as a senior. I think a nice role player. Steve Angeli.
So I have
Now it's Tim. Now Tim could be a multiple year starter if he sticks around and he has the opportunity to start, but I'll throw him in the middle. He's on the fringe, I guess.
Oh, he's definitely a middle guy now. Yes.
I thought about, if you start for 2 years at Notre Dame at the quarterback position, like he has the chance to, got a good chance of having NFL caliber, but
I've been saying it for 6 months, man. The battle for the number 2 sets the tables for 25. It is going to be exact. I mean, it's huge. Exactly what you're saying. If Angeli holds these guys off, everything I've been saying for months, I think this is the biggest storyline for Notre Dame in the future. Obviously, it's the number 2, and if Angeli holds them off, damn well that means the staff says that's our number 2. You're a quarterback in 25. That's the way I look at it. Because why would they give him the number 2 reps?
Well, unless
the number 2 guy, that Riley Leonard, because you can't. What are you going to recycle all this again next year after he's been really the number 2 for 3 full seasons? You know what I mean? That's going to be tough, but that's why it's going to be huge. Minchie and Carr make a move.
Yeah,
or start seeing who needs somebody in May. It's going to be pretty wild.
Okay, so there's a couple guys in my setback / didn't work out that absolutely could move, but right now this is kind of where I'm projecting it. No hard feelings, but just calling it like I see it. So Merriweather obviously didn't work out. I remember Tim us recording a little YouTube short last year asking you who you thought was going to be the leading receiver for the 2023 season.
Yeah, the breakout player.
We all thought it was going to be Tobias.
One of the biggest, man, in Notre Dame, just 10 seconds on this, Notre Dame's had an unbelievable history of sophomores just being like, boom, all right, I'm next man, let's go.
Yeah.
Right there for Tobias to be in that great group of NFL wide receivers. And he's like, nah, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So life moves on.
Yeah, Joey Tannona,
yes.
The car accident and the injury that came from that. But he's restarting his football career. I believe he's at Purdue. So he's an Indy kid. He'll play at Purdue. So Aiden Gobira is one who's still on the roster. So it's tough to say it's like didn't work out because his story still left to be told. But I don't know. I don't know what his path is to play. So I hope I'm wrong there. I hope he moves into the far left category. But that's just kind of where I'm projecting right now. I'm reading the chat over there. John Massey saying Angeli ain't winning any playoff games. Like, bro, you don't know that. You don't do we know that? Let's get to the playoffs. Let's see if Riley Leonard. Do we even know Riley Leonard can win a playoff game? Like Notre Dame hasn't won any damn playoff games.
Exactly.
So your book. Hartman obviously they couldn't even sniff the playoffs. So you get out of here with that crap, John. We just don't know. We just don't know. I think Angeli could win a playoff game for Notre Dame, especially if you get in that. All right, moving on. Holden Stace didn't work out.
Yeah,
was left before he should have. Ty Chan is still here, but I don't know about his path to get on this field. Tim, they just get recruited over. It's kind of like a Carmody thing. It's like Ty Chan might be a fine player, but I just don't know what the path for him to get on the field are. And then Ziegler off the field, things. He transferred to Central Michigan, I believe it was. Very happy for him to get a restart there. And then Jaden Bellamy transferred out after his freshman year. That was a player that my sources were really excited about to get to Notre Dame.
I'm not saying anything.
and then he didn't work out. So 777, and then McPherson is in my I don't know to keep it perfectly even there.
No, I have the same group. Gobara, we just don't know. Red shirt, injured. Now it's year 3. Same with Tai Chan. Does he move around? Does he have a shot? Two very good football players when they signed.
Yeah.
Things happen. Interesting. I always keep, people always laugh at me when I talk about the big 3 in recruiting: Georgia, Bama, Alabama.
Georgia, Bama, Ohio State.
What did I say?
You said Bama twice.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Mike, you won so much, you say it twice. There you go. Bama, Ohio State, and the Bulldogs. Exactly. Well, Kirby's smart. Yeah, I guess I still think he's Bama. Holden Stays is the only. I keep track all the time. Holden Stays is the only one in this class to have an offer from all 3 of those. How's that? That's wild. That's wild. And he was a hell of an athlete. So stinks he left. I thought he's just one of those fantastic athletes that it's just too bad. But no, I'm in agreement. Ford, Tyson Ford, didn't work out because, man, he's been here 2 years. We've never heard of him. We've never heard of him for 2 years, and he was Marcus Freeman's, hooting and hollering first, guy he went and signed, and got all the hype going for Freeman. And this was the top 100 guy. He got away from Lincoln Riley and everything, and just haven't heard from him.
Yeah.
So to me, he's in that far right column until we know. Because even going into the spring, Mike, we're like, he's not even projected because you're thinking Oben and Josh Burnham are your strong side ends. Your weak side guys are Botello, Tuialamaka, and Boubacar Traore fighting. The inside's already kind of solidified, So Ford's going into this thing as a third string end or a third string D tackle in his 3rd season. So where does he move up? I have him. Other than that, I have all the same guys with you, and I had a big circle around Angeli as well. As if he's the number 2, man, you got to start planning him to be the 2025 starting quarterback.
Yeah,
which is fascinating.
Yeah. Okay, so we're pretty much in a.
Exactly. No, I was going to say, when I say fascinating on Jelly, it's not putting him down or anything. Fascinating that he's held guys off, and there's some damn good quarterbacks that he is going to hold off. And I think that says a lot about him in a good way. If he goes out there and he holds Minchie and Carr off, this is Minchie's 2nd year now, obviously at Notre Dame. So he's got the same amount of practices as Angeli and everything as well. And he came in there with a lot of hype, Elite 11, CJ Carr as well. Man, what's that battle? If Angeli, Mike, let's just say he wins the number 2. What the hell happens at number 3, right? So, whoo. I saw your eyes get big. It's true. Yeah. It's true. Because Angeli could be a 2-year starter, 25, 26.
Yeah. So was there anyone on this group for 2022 that you were looking at it, you're like, Mike, you're an idiot. Why did you put this guy there? Is there anyone here like you strongly disagree with?
No, I don't want to say an idiot. Idiot. No, my only one was I got Ford in the far right and I got Mickey in the middle.
Okay.
Just because I'm picking Christian Gray. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. The Mickey one, I think that makes sense. I just had a problem because I could, just when you look at how much he's already played and started, and he still has 2 years. So I don't know.
No, I feel you.
In NFL caliber, like, yeah, he might not, like Christian Gray might start over him, but I still think that, he might start some football games, and he might still have NFL caliber. So for 2021, you're in most disagreement with whom here on this list?
Well, I'm tougher than you. I had Diggs and Styles on the far right. And,
I think that was kind of interpretation.
And Rocco to me is just big circle, as in
big circle. Okay.
And, he's a starter now. Remember, he started 10 games last year, so he is the starter. Does he come? But for him to be the starter in 24, he's either got to beat out a starter, his buddy Pat Coogan, or Billy Schrauf, who's the super talented junior. So that's going to be an interesting one with Rocco.
And then 2020, we were pretty much in agreement here, right? You said maybe Tosh Baker's in the middle?
I only have him in the middle until we know he's the starting right tackle.
Yeah,
that's the same with Neil Wagner.
Yeah, he was.
I have Emil in the middle he could easily be on the left side here.
Yeah, Tosh and Tyree, I kind of had, I could hear arguments for both, but okay.
Tyree, I don't think there is an argument. I think Tyree, I think the way Lou Emoji always broke it down, Chris Tyree's a perfect.
I agree.
Special teams, role player,
yeah, I agree.
Name, got your degree.
Yeah,
no
I agree. That's why I put him there, but
I like it.
Maybe I'm a homer. Still think he has some NFL potential, but NFL potential also as a role player. So, so there you go. So that's our 1/3 rule, Tim. I'm going to make sure I save those, and we'll have to do this every year. I think that was a really fun exercise. So let me know in the YouTube comments what you guys thought. Disagree, agree. I'm not seeing any rage comments in the YouTube chat. So usually when it comes to college football takes, Tim, people will, piss themselves over just about anything. So that must mean that this was fairly decent. So I will take it.
All right. Let's get a couple Q&As up here. I like some of these ones you have prepped.
Yeah, we're going to go through a few of those. First, we're going to hear from our sponsor over at Augie's Locker Room. So, folks, if you are in town, you are, driving through or whatever the case, or if you're local, whatever the case may be, you got to make time for Augie's Locker Room, the one-of-a-kind, unique Notre Dame memorabilia shop located new spot. So if you've been going to Augie's Locker Room in the past, it's got a new location. It's 1733 North Ironwood Drive in South Bend, right down the street from campus. So they have a wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, one-of-a-kind Rockney items. You got exclusive Joe Montana signed items, famous sculptor Jerry McKenna's replicas of the bronze statues around the stadium, and Augie gets new stuff in all the time. If he doesn't have it, he's going to go find it for you. I think he proved that with getting Goolsby his couple jerseys. So yeah, Augie's the man, great guy. Visit the store. You're shopping local, helping out. I don't know. Can I call him like an icon in the area? Like this, like the stuff that he gets is big time. So check him out, augieslockerroom.com. Visit him at 1733 North Ironwood Drive in South Bend and see the vintage helmet display dating back to 1890. Give him a call, 574-277-6363. That's 574-277-6363. Pony Boy Curtis says, no gaskets blown tonight. Great job. Hey, yeah, there you go. Haven't lost my damn mind like I usually do, Tim.
Pony Boy. Man, I haven't heard that in ages.
I know.
That's a good one.
So let's get into, let's see. Okay.
See what you got lined up here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that okay, Tim?
Yeah, let's go. Tim Hyde's got to. I got to be nice and quick, Mike.
All right. All right. This is from Michael. Michael called it. Here we go.
Go back to a year ago.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Hey, guys, I've got a hypothetical for you. Go back to a year ago, right before spring ball. You have a quarterback room of Tyler Buckner, Riley Leonard, and Sam Hartman. Rank them, and who's your starter? Thanks.
So go back to last year. You have Buckner, Hartman, and he throws in Leonard for this.
Sam Hartman's the starter out of that three. If you're going back, I mean, that's just me. I think he still wins the job. His experience, especially in 2024, he's going to have a hell of a lot better wide receivers than he got last year. That would be my big reasoning. Is just the are we thinking 2024? So we're bringing those guys in the 2024 wide receivers. Yeah, I would say. I mean, Hartman. I've been watching a lot of Riley Leonard. I kind of drifted away from it. I've kind of dived back into it more in the last week or so. Goolsby and I have been chatting more about that. I think Hartman's just a better quarterback. So when it comes to throwing the football and stuff of that nature, that would be my pick.
Okay. And here's Katie.
My name is Katie, and my question for Mike is what player does he think has the most drip? Let's go Taco Bell.
Let's go Taco Bell. Katie, how are you? Um, the most drip, Tim. So who's the swaggiest? I tried to find the picture of Jack Larson from his home visit with the Notre Dame staff, and I just did not have enough time to be able to pull it
my.
up.
Is that the jeans? He looks like
He's jeans. He's got his Notre Dame polo tucked in, and oh my gosh, it's so great. Notre Dame, like on the board,
yeah.
we were like, Jack Larson is the type of dad who gets you to the airport 5 hours before takeoff. Was freaking hysterical. That comment.
Say,
So give me Jack. Listen, I mean,
like
I just happened to shave today, but usually I'm the neck beard guy. I've got a beer belly. I'm out of shape. Like, I am not the person, Katie, to talk about drip at all. But if people are talking Ben Morrison or Xavier Watts, I know I know Devin real well, the commenter here. He says Morrison or Watts.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say Morrison or Watts. I'm gonna go with Devi Cooked here. But Katie, thank you for the Taco Bell love. We definitely need it. But my personal pick, I'm going Jack Larson drip because that's Mike Singer drip. So there you go.
That's what it was. That was a good home visit outfit. Hey, that's just the guy who's comfortable in his skin, enjoying life.
He is. I like Jack Larson. I like him a lot. All right, RK Anderson sent in a few questions. We're only able to take one of yours, RK, but here we go.
Greetings, Tim and Mike.
Greetings.
I'm just wondering if Notre Dame has done enough with their NIL program to successfully land 5-star plus athletes for the football team in the next few years.
Okay, interesting question.
So, exactly. I mean, let's just jump right to it. I mean, if he's saying 5 stars, so he's saying high school. So obviously Notre Dame is not issuing checks to high school guys. That's
part of you when you go through the recruiting process, you do have to say like this is what NIL looks like here. This is what our players are getting to do. But my thing is, I mean, they kind of already are getting 5 stars. We've gone through this before, Tim. Like, what do you define a 5-star? Is it just 5-star according to at least one service, or at any point you were a 5-star, or is it just like your favorite website? If you go through just like final rankings and you take the 4 websites that do the rankings, I mean, Notre Dame signed 3. You know, you had Kingston at Rivals, Bryce Young 24/7, and then Gerby on 3. So there's 3 5. So I mean, they kind of are. I mean, there's only 32 5-stars.
Yeah.
You sign 3 of the 32. That's I think that's pretty good for Notre Dame. I mean, Notre Dame's located in South Bend, Indiana. It's just not that easy in modern football to get, like those, like your typical, when you think big time 5-star from the South, it's not easy for Notre Dame to get those kids. So something.
And when I hear 5-star, that's, and I'm sure the caller's probably thinking of that. How do we pull those guys away from Georgia, Alabama? The wide receiver that they got at Ohio State is just like,
he's a freak.
Oh my God, Mike! They had day 1 practice yesterday. I was watching some of the highlights. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's like better than Marvin Harrison already. But yeah, I mean, that's what I think he's saying is like, how do we get those guys? Yeah, you got 5-star, the other ones, that you mentioned, which is true, and no doubt about that. But is the NIL program? I mean, you were right though, Mike. They did. I mean, Gerby Lammer could have went to freaking Ohio State if he wanted. He could have went to Alabama if he wanted. He chose Notre Dame. Kingston, the same thing. He could have went to any school he had it in the country. He chose Notre Dame. So you are right. Those things are coming up. Of this is your brand. This is what you could do. All those things. And I think Notre Dame. I think the transfer portals where Notre Dame is probably doing pretty good with NIL, where they're obviously getting some high-end transfers the last couple of years.
Right.
And I think that's really shown out as well. So, still, I think I think that NIL, I think, is overblown. I think you talk about this a lot as well, where it's more spread out as we've seen it, and there's articles out there that do tons of interviews at the All-Star games the last couple of years, and people are like, they're really picking a program of who's going to get me to the NFL. That's the way these guys are thinking more than the upfront check as an 18-year-old. So,
Tim, do you like Taco Bell?
sure, let's go for it. Some chicken soft tacos.
There you go. All right, let's hear from Uncle Mikey.
What's up? It's Uncle Mikey. I just want to say, good luck. We're all counting on you. That's all I got. Again, that's all I got.
That is a stellar voice memo. Again,
That's
stellar. Thank you, Uncle
the
Mikey.
airplane from the airplane scene. You ever see? I know Mike doesn't comment on movies,
Tim.
but seriously, for those guys that are my age, they know what I'm talking about. Leslie Nielsen opens the door. Good luck. We're all counting on you. So that's from the old original airplane. That's a great phone message.
Uncle Mikey, love you, bro. All right, so here is Ron. That's just Ron. This is all we got. Here we go.
Ron Burgundy?
Close.
Okay.
As a man who holds the virtues of breakfast, namely bacon and eggs, in the highest esteem, akin to the reverence I reserve for woodworking and the great outdoors, I am compelled to inquire about Mr. Tim Hyde's stance on the most important meal of the day. Does he partake in the consumption of breakfast foods with the gusto and solemnity they rightfully deserve? Yours in the pursuit of wisdom, meat, and victory, Ron.
Tim, you ever watch the show Parks and Recreation?
Oh, yeah.
So you know Ron Swanson.
Oh, yeah. He's a breakfast man.
Did you just hear Ron Swanson say the name Tim Hyde?
However,
Ron Swanson, Ron Swanson just called in, and he wants to know what your favorite meal of the day is.
Is that what Chat GPT working on that thing out there? Is that what that is? A little AI?
Dude,
And
these are the questions we got, bro.
He asked me if I'm a breakfast guy. Weekends, without a doubt. Weekdays, I'm busting my butt. I got the kids to get out of here. We got to get to drop off. We got to get to work. I'm definitely a bright and early morning coffee guy. I put on my Boston sports radio, make a piece of toast, depending on what the kids are having. I'm also a leftover kid. Dad, I can't finish my cereal. I'll give it to Dad. I'll finish it. Seriously, nothing goes to waste. So in honor of Ron Swanson, nothing goes to waste. I'm finishing the kids' breakfast as we get out the door. So that's
I love all breakfast foods, but I don't often eat breakfast as well. All right, Wicked Bronco Productions. Here we go.
Gotcha.
Hey, Mike. So it's here, Wicked Bronco Productions. 2 questions for you. First of all, are there any guys in this class, the 2025 class, that you guys think, besides obviously Will Black, who is now a 5-star, are potential 5-star prospects? Guys that you think, have a chance to get, legit shot to get that 5th star. And my other question would be, going into Marcus Freeman's 3rd year, what are your expectations? Is it playoff or bust this year? Or do you think it's still too early in the process? Like, he can get a break if they don't make it with the schedule this year.
5 stars, Mike. Current. So he's saying current commits.
Yeah, of the current commits.
The only one that could shoot up, I would think, is just Deuce Knight.
Yeah,
just a quick thing. I mean, I love Taylor, but is he a 5-star DB? I don't see that off his junior film. It'd be Deuce Knight. Will Black, I think, is gonna stay up there. I mean, and at least on 3. The other guy, I can't. Like, the other networks have him 30th and 40th. How in the hell are there 39 other tackles there? But don't get me going. I think Deuce Knight, and then the one wild card in recruiting is Meadows out of Bishop Gorman.
Yeah,
if they're able to land Meadows and he just blows up at Bishop Gorman this year, his freak skills, that dude's he has a legitimate shot at finishing as a national top 20, 25 prospect. He's a freak.
So Will Black got a bump on 24/7 today. I'm not sure.
What is he now as a position? What's his
24.
Position? So he moved up. I think he was.
Wait. Hold on.
And the 247.
No. Maybe they haven't updated yet. No, still 29. I'm sorry.
No, he's 29. So he moved up. I think he was 30th.
Oh,
I think
God.
Rivals had What's Rivals, number 40?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he moved up one spot on 247.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Anyways, yeah, just going up the committed guys, I think you're there. Like who who I think should be a 5-star versus who I think could get a 5-star is totally different.
Yeah.
I think that sorry, I'm just reading chat. I think Ivan Taylor should be considered for a 5-star. I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Deuce Knights, I think, dude, just when you see him, especially in person, he is just like he just looks like a 5-star. So I think a lot of that will depend on if he like how the senior year goes, and then I'm assuming he's going to play at one of the All-Star games, and then how he looks in that setting is going to go a long way for him to get a 5-star or not. So,
and all the outlets, or at least one of the outlets, being on 3, is going to go see him live. They're going to go see Deuce live. Charles Power and those guys. So, and we'll see how that moves. Ivan Taylor, real quick on Taylor, is he categorized as a corner? Because I went and watched the corners.
Safety.
Yeah, he's a safety. Okay,
listed as, but
the upper echelon corners are like insane. It's not even.
Dude, I think he's just as good at corners. I mean, dude, he's special to me.
No, he's good. He's a top. I would definitely just watching him because I've been trying to compare to other guys. I think he's definitely in that top 50-ish mix. He's a special talent.
Uno mas. Here we go. All right, let me refresh the page here.
Reboot.
Hi there. This is Richard Starkey.
Hello, Richard.
I have a 3-part question.
Oh, God.
Do we like having one coach for the secondary?
All right. I remember this now. I listened to this. So,
hold on, 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We didn't even finish the last one, Mike. Third year.
Oh, yeah.
I'm writing them down. Playoffs or bust, without a doubt. It's year 3. The schedule. We'll dive into this even more so. You beat A&M, no freaking excuses. There's no excuses. There's none. So Freeman's been here 3 years. He's really been here 4 years. So he's had his stamp on parts of this program for 4 years. So it's playoffs, man. It's playoffs. Easy as that.
So the part, first part of the handsome Richard Starkey's question was, do we like one coach overseeing the? Let me just play the rest of it. Hold on.
I'm writing them down.
One coach for the secondary. Who is the GA that will help back there? And has Al Golden talked about which position group he'll spend the majority of his time with? Thank you so much.
Okay, so don't know the GA that's going to help in the secondary. Now, that's going to be a much better question for next week's show that I'm sure we'll get Horka on here and we'll talk about that because that's something I'm interested in. Do we like Mickens coaching the entire secondary? If it's just him on an island out there, no. But we're assuming he's going to get help. I think that Golden is going to be back there, coaching some at practice. You're going to have a GA or two, just like Al Golden was the linebackers coach on paper last year, but is really Max Laurinaitis running the show. Max Bulla. And then before him, James Laurinaitis was kind of running the linebackers, like the day-to-day kind of practice stuff. And then, so that's I think it's going to be a by committee thing, but that GA, I don't know yet. And you don't love Mickens coaching it if he's on an island, but I don't think that'll be the case.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this when O'Leary left. Me personally, I think it's a big hit for Notre Dame because they live in 5 and 6 DBs. I mean, they're always 5 and 6 DBs. So the Rover, throw it out the door. There's no 3 linebackers. There's zero need to play 3 linebackers at Notre Dame with the offenses they do. Why would you play 3 linebackers? Do you want a 225 pounds covering a slot? Hell no. So you're going to always be at 5 linebackers. So one coach for 5 linebackers or 5 DBs. And then as soon as you're in 3rd and 7, it's automatic dime. Notre Dame goes dime in a heartbeat. So it's a great question because the GA is vital. Does he have experience? Is he Is he on staff now? I have no idea. Is he, because O'Leary moved his way up. O'Leary's been at Notre Dame for 7 years. So it's a great question. The fact I know Golden is going to probably float around more, probably even more so because they don't have O'Leary. So losing O'Leary, he's an NFL coach. So you just lost an NFL coach. So that's definitely going to be a little adjustment for who's ever back there.
I told you guys at the beginning of the show that this was going to be unique and different. And yeah, we had people asking me about drip, saying, go Taco Bell. We had Uncle Mikey. We had Ron Swanson. And then we had the 1/3 rule breakdown. I think I delivered. I think I delivered on this was going to be a fascinating show. So if you are just joining us here in the past, I don't know, even 20 minutes, like you got to rewind, watch from the beginning. I think it was a fascinating conversation. This is one of my favorite shows we've done in a while. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, which I'm sure you did, please hit the thumbs up on the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. That's it for today's show. We went through everything, so we will definitely be back at it next Wednesday. We'll have Tyler Horka on. We'll talk about that first spring practice, but we'll also have more on our YouTube channel between now and then. Recruiting updates. We'll have a recruiting show Friday. Tyler will do a video after practice tomorrow. We'll have highlights from practice. It's a full practice. Media can only shoot the first 5 portions of practice, stretching and then a couple individual drills maybe, and then they got to put the cameras up and then they get to watch the rest of practice. But still, they'll have their report on that. We'll have some video to go with it, and yeah, we'll have a ton of content between now and next Wednesday show as well. So really appreciate you all for watching, and as always, we will catch you next time.